The security footage from Logan International Airport played on my laptop for the 100th time. James, still in his wrinkled wedding suit, was rushing through Terminal C at 6:43 a.m. No luggage, just his briefcase and a phone I'd never seen before. He hadn't even changed clothes from our wedding night. "I just need to handle something at the Singapore office," he'd whispered, kissing me goodbye in our honeymoon suite. 2 days, tops, keep sleeping, beautiful. That was 3 months ago. I paused the footage, zooming in on his face. No stress, no hesitation. Just my new husband of 18 hours calmly abandoning his life. "Charlotte, dear." Margaret Weber's voice dripped with manufactured concern through my phone's speaker. "James is just very busy with a merger. You know how these international deals are." I watched my mother-in-law's face on the video call, cataloging her tells. The slight twitch of her left eye, the way she touched her pearls. The same performances she'd been giving since her son vanished. "Funny thing about international deals, Margaret," I replied, keeping my voice neutral. "They usually leave a paper trail." Her perfectly maintained smile flickered. "What exactly are you implying?" "Nothing yet. But maybe you can explain why James's company has no record of any Singapore merger, or why his work phone GPS showed him the Cayman Islands last week." The pearls again. "You've been tracking him?" "Charlotte, that's very disturbing behavior." I laughed, the sound hollow even to my own ears. More disturbing than a man abandoning his bride? Than his family lying for months? "We're not lying." The gaslighting stops now. I pulled out my trump card. I found the burner phone, Margaret. The color drained from her aristocratic face. "What?" "Hidden in his study. The one he used to text someone the morning he left. It's done. I married her. Now pay up." "Care to explain that?" The video call ended abruptly. I leaned back in my chair, surrounded by the evidence I gathered in our Boston penthouse. Bank statements, flight records, mysterious transfers. 3 months of digging had revealed more questions than answers. My phone buzzed, a text from Peter, James's younger brother. "Meet me. Now, there's something you need to know." I hesitated. The Webers were old money, Boston aristocracy. They'd spent 3 months orchestrating this cover-up. Why would Peter break ranks now? "Where?" "The Gardner. 30 minutes. Come alone." The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, where James had proposed 6 months ago. How poetic. I grabbed my coat and the burner phone I found yesterday, hidden behind a false panel in James's desk, the discovery that had finally cracked this facade of family concern. The museum was quiet for a Thursday afternoon. Peter stood by the courtyard, looking as perfectly pressed as any Weber, but his hands shook slightly. "You found the phone," he said without preamble. "Did you know?" I demanded. "About whatever scheme required your brother to marry me and disappear." Peter glanced around, lowering his voice. "It's not what you think. James, he wasn't supposed to leave. That wasn't the plan." "What plan?" "Grandfather's will. The inheritance, it had conditions. I'd never met James's grandfather, the patriarch who'd built Weber Financial from nothing. He died last year, leaving everything in an elaborate trust." "What conditions?" "Marriage by his 30th birthday, to someone from the right background. Old money, proper family." Peter trailed off. "But I'm not old money," I said slowly. "I'm a public defender from Dorchester." "Exactly, you were never supposed to be the one. But James, he actually fell for you. Ruined everything." My head spun. "Peter, start making sense." He pulled out his own phone, showing me a document. Grandfather's real will. If James married within the family, specifically our cousin Rebecca, he'd inherit everything. 50 million. The company. All of it. And if he married someone else, 10%, and control goes to our mother. The pieces started falling into place. "So your mother arranged a fake marriage to me." "To what?" "Invalidated somehow." Peter shook his head. "No, she arranged the real marriage to Rebecca, 2 days after your wedding. In the Caymans." The room tilted. "Bigamy. The plan was to marry you, get it annulled quickly, claim fraud or something, then do the real wedding with Rebecca. But James couldn't go through with it." "No, he went through with it. He married Rebecca. But then he vanished. Neither bride knows where he is." Peter showed me another document, and yesterday he somehow transferred the entire inheritance to offshore accounts. I started laughing. I couldn't help it. So your perfect son, your family's golden boy, married 2 women in 3 days and stole $50 million. This isn't funny, Charlotte. That money, the company, everything's gone. Know what else is gone, Peter? 3 months of my life. My career, I had to take leave. My dignity. All while you people lied to my face. My phone buzzed. An email from an anonymous account. Security footage from a bank in Singapore, timestamped 1 hour ago. James, looking tanned and relaxed, emptying a safety deposit box. He's burning everything down, Peter whispered, watching over my shoulder. No, I corrected him. He's exposing everything. And I think I know why. I pulled out the burner phone, showing Peter the full text thread I'd recovered. It's done. I married her. Now pay up. Good boy. The money's ready. Just one more step. No, I'm done. This ends now. Don't be stupid. Marry Rebecca. Get the inheritance. Everyone wins. Everyone except Charlotte. I won't do it. You don't have a choice. Watch me. Peter's hands shook harder. Those are from your mother. I recognized her number. She orchestrated everything. The fake marriage, the real marriage, probably even our entire relationship. I smiled grimly. But she didn't count on James growing a conscience, or on me being more than just some disposable pawn. What are you going to do? I showed him my phone's screen, my email to the FBI's Financial Crimes Division still unsent. That depends. Start talking, Peter. Tell me everything, because right now, I've got evidence of conspiracy, fraud, and criminal coercion. Your whole family could go down. Peter stared at the phone, at his family's fate hanging in the balance. If I tell you everything, then maybe we can find James before he does something even more dramatic, because right now, he's got $50 million, 2 wives, and apparently a burning desire to destroy everything the Webbers built. I touched the send button lightly. Your choice, Peter, but choose fast, because I've spent 3 months being lied to, and my patience is officially gone. Peter's confession took 2 hours and 3 cups of overpriced museum cafe coffee. By the time he finished, I had enough material to destroy the Weber family 10 times over. The arrangement with Rebecca started when they were teenagers, Peter explained. 2 of Boston's oldest families merging through marriage. It was practically medieval. But James met me instead, I said, scrolling through years of family texts and emails he forwarded to my phone. Ruined the perfect plan. Mother thought she could control it, use you to fulfill the marriage requirement technically, then dispose of the marriage quietly. Peter looked ashamed. Nobody expected James to actually fall in love. My laptop pinged, another anonymous email. This time bank statements showing systematic fraud going back decades. The Webbers hadn't just arranged marriages. They'd been running a sophisticated financial crime operation. Your mother's being arrested right now, isn't she? I asked, watching Peter check his phone for the 5th time. He nodded grimly. FBI picked her up at the country club. Maximum embarrassment, just like James would have wanted. The museum's speakers crackled with an announcement about closing time. As other visitors filed out, I noticed 2 men in suits watching our table, federal agents, probably making sure Peter didn't run. What I don't understand, I said, is why James went through with any of it. He had the evidence. He could have exposed everything months ago. Because of you. Peter pulled out one final document, a prenuptial agreement I'd never seen. If he didn't follow through, Mother threatened to destroy you. Your career, your reputation, everything. I examined the fake prenup, apparently showing I'd agreed to a multi-million-dollar payout for a short marriage. Classic gold digger setup. She was going to frame me for fraud. Among other things, she had judges in her pocket, evidence manufactured. You'd have lost your law license, maybe face charges. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number, Channel 5 News. Now. Peter and I watched on my phone as Margaret Weber was led out of the Brookline Country Club in handcuffs. The headline crawled across the screen. Weber Financial under federal investigation. Decades of fraud exposed. He's systematically destroying everything, Peter whispered. The company, the family's reputation, all of it. No, I corrected. He's fixing everything. Look at the timing. I showed Peter my laptop screen, dozens of transfers from Weber accounts not to offshore holdings, but to charitable foundations, women's legal defense funds, ethics watchdogs, anti-corruption organizations. He's not stealing the money, he's giving it away to causes that fight exactly what your family represents. My phone lit up again. Another anonymous email. Security footage from a private airport in Singapore, dated 1 hour ago. James boarding a plane, but not alone. Is that? Peter squinted at the screen. Rebecca, I confirmed. Looks like she helped him, probably tired of being another pawn in your mother's games. The pieces were falling into place. James hadn't just disappeared. He'd orchestrated an elaborate takedown of his own family's corruption. Every day I'd spent searching for answers, he'd been methodically dismantling the Weber empire. There's something else you should know, Peter said quietly, about your marriage. I tensed. What about it? It's the only legal one. The Cayman ceremony. James never signed the papers. He and Rebecca just made it look like he did. Mother doesn't know. A wave of emotions hit me, relief, confusion, anger, and something else I couldn't name. So I'm actually still legally Mrs. Weber, the only one. Peter smiled sadly. He protected you the only way he could, by making sure your marriage was real and valid, while everything else was smoke and mirrors. My phone buzzed one final time. A message from James's burner phone. Turn on your laptop camera. With shaking hands, I opened my video chat. And there he was, my husband, looking tired but determined, with Rebecca sitting beside him. Hi, Charlie, he said softly. I owe you one hell of an explanation. Rebecca spoke up quickly. He's not the bad guy here. We've been working together to expose everything. The fraud, the corruption, all of it. You could have told me, I said, fighting to keep my voice steady. 3 months, James. If you'd known, they would have seen it in your eyes. Mother would have known you were acting. This way. He ran a hand through his hair. This way, your reactions were real. Your investigation was real. You did exactly what I knew you would. You fought for the truth. The money. I started. Is going where it should have gone years ago. To fighting corruption, supporting justice. He leaned closer to the camera. I'm sorry for what I put you through, but I couldn't let them hurt you, and I couldn't let them keep hurting others. Peter spoke up. The FBI is moving on all the evidence. It's over, James. You can come home. Not yet. James glanced at Rebecca, who nodded. We have more to expose. Other families, other arrangements. This goes beyond the Webers. I thought about my empty bed, our unopened wedding gifts, 3 months of pain and confusion. When? Soon, he promised. And then, if you'll still have me, we can start over. Do it right this time. Rebecca stood. I should give you two a moment, and Charlotte. Thank you for being strong enough to keep fighting. We needed that. As she walked away, James and I stared at each other through the screen. 3 months of questions hung between us. The night you left, I said finally, what would you have done if I'd woken up? If I caught you leaving? I would have told you everything. Probably ruined the whole plan. He smiled sadly. That's why I had to go so early. I knew I couldn't lie to you face to face. Behind me, the federal agents were moving closer. They'd want to question me formally now. I have to go, James said, checking something off screen. But Charlie, check your email in an hour. You'll find everything you need to understand why this had to happen this way. James, I touched the screen. Just tell me one thing. Was any of it real? That's the only thing that was real. He leaned forward. I married you because I loved you. I left because I had to protect you. And I'm ending all of this because you taught me what real justice looks like. The video cut off as the agents reached our table. As they began their questions, my phone lit up one last time. A final text from James. Check your wedding bouquet. The one you dried and kept. There's a note there I left that morning. Read it when you're alone. I thought of the flowers hanging in my study, preserved as a bitter reminder, now possibly holding answers I'd spent 3 months searching for. Peter touched my arm gently. For what it's worth, I've never seen him love anyone the way he loves you. I nodded, watching the news footage of Margaret Weber's arrest replay on my phone. Sometimes love looked like leaving. Sometimes justice required sacrifice. And sometimes the biggest lies led to the most important truths. Back home, I stood in my study staring at the dried wedding bouquet. With trembling fingers, I carefully separated the preserved roses until I found it, a small envelope, hidden in a center for 3 months. My dearest Charlie, James's letter began. By the time you read this, you'll either hate me or understand why. Maybe both. I sank into my chair, reading his words through tears. Asterisk, what I'm doing will hurt you, and that kills me. But staying would hurt you more. My family's corruption runs deeper than you know. People who've exposed it have lost everything: careers, reputations, sometimes their lives. I couldn't let that happen to you. Rebecca and I have been gathering evidence since we were teenagers. We played their game, pretended to accept their plans. But we were always working to bring it down. Then I met you, and everything changed. I fell in love with someone who fought for justice every day in court. Someone who made me brave enough to finally act. The money trail leads to judges, politicians, other families. By the time you read this, we'll be dismantling it all. Every corrupt deal, every arranged marriage, every case of justice bought and sold. I married you because I love you. I left because that love means protecting you even from me. When it's over, if you can forgive me, I'll spend the rest of my life making this right. All my love, James *. My phone buzzed. The promised email had arrived. Hundreds of documents showing decades of corruption. Cases fixed, judgments bought, lives ruined. My own cases were there, ones I'd lost mysteriously, where justice should have prevailed. Another video call came through. James, alone this time. Did you find the letter? He asked softly. I held it up. 3 months, James. 3 months of thinking you'd use me. I know, but look at your screen now. My laptop pinged with breaking news. Arrests across Boston. Judges, lawyers, business leaders. The Weber conspiracy had tentacles everywhere. We had to get them all at once, James explained. If they'd had warning, they'd have destroyed the evidence. And me. He nodded. Rebecca's testimony is being taken now. She's turning state's evidence against her own family too. It's really over. When are you coming home? Tomorrow. I'm on the next flight. He leaned closer to the camera. Charlie, I know I have no right to ask. Just come home. I cut him off. We'll figure out the rest. After we disconnected, I walked through our apartment, touching things he'd left behind. His coffee mug, his books, the photos from our wedding. All part of a life interrupted by necessary deception. My phone lit up with messages as the news spread, colleagues celebrating the exposure of corrupt judges, friends expressing shock about the Webers, and one message from Rebecca. He talked about you every day. Never doubted your strength. Thank you for helping us finish this, even if you didn't know you were doing it. I thought about justice, how sometimes it came through dramatic courtroom victories and sometimes through quiet acts of sacrifice. James had chosen the latter, protecting me by letting me hate him. The next morning, I stood in Logan Airport, watching his flight land. 3 months of anger and confusion had led to this moment. He emerged from the gate, looking tired but relieved. When he saw me, he stopped, uncertainty crossing his face. I held up his letter. You could have trusted me to fight beside you. I trusted you to fight for justice, he replied. You always have. I just couldn't risk them hurting you. Next time, I said, stepping closer, we fight corruption together. No more noble sacrifices. He reached for me hesitantly. Next time. I took his hand, feeling the wedding ring he still wore. Next time, because there will always be more battles for justice. But from now on, we face them as partners. Outside the airport, Boston's skyline gleamed in the morning sun. The news was still breaking, the Weber scandal growing bigger by the hour. But here in this moment, justice had already been served. James squeezed my hand. Take me home, Charlie. We have a lot of catching up to do. And we did. But first, we had a city to help rebuild, a justice system to help repair, and a love to reconstruct, stronger this time, built on truth instead of necessary lies. Sometimes the greatest acts of love look like betrayal, and sometimes justice wears a wedding ring.